Welcome back, friends. Last guy here, and listen to this. No squeak. I lubed up the hell out of this chair. There's lube everywhere. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let us continue. Now I can move freely while I talk. Haha. Haha. Yes. I think last episode I said it was Pink Panther's voice. I meant Snaggletooth. Alright. My Gina voice is still not great, though. It's more for the accent than anything. The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Winniebank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now, here we are all again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged. That the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilded died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. As indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor this small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings. Miss Lestrade. Would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean? I don't know what you mean. I already said all of what I know. And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Huh? Please, Miss Lestrade, this is extremely important. But... Remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. Huh? And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts. You have little credibility to lose. Oh, he just lost the game there. Guinea, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Bruno now. The artists. We're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina. It would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. I must confess that I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilded's pawned articles in that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbor secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. This is it, then. Everything's going to come out. Like Von Zeke said. This could bring the whole courtroom down on about my ears, but as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. Witness testimony. The real truth of the omnibus case. The truth is that Big Maker Cove was in the cabin on the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from above me head, and that pan the roof deck went off to call the sloops. That's when McGilded slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop around about. Not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard. Jeez, that took a minute. Good grief, this is outrageous. What you've just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago. As you say, my lord. Then there's every chance. I may have educated in error in McGilded's trial. It sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court, in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial, of this witness, and my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce. It was all lies. That McGilded fellow was rotten to the core, just like that pickpocket. Don't forget that lawyer from the east. They were all in on it together. You're wrong, the lot of you. Mr. Naruto, the lawyer there, he didn't know nothing about it. Humbug. I don't think so. Are you really expected to believe that? He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation to get the man off scot-free. Unforgivable, stop. The lies have to stop, stop. Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGilded's pawned articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruto. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. But I don't understand at all what they're trying to do here with this. Lawyers are allowed to defend guilty people. It's allowed. You can do that. If the court's doing such a crap job at convicting the person, it's not the lawyer's fault that they were able to get the person off, no matter how heinous. Because you're not supposed to do a sloppy job. The prosecution should always know what the hell they're doing when they do this thing. But apparently Von Zieks doesn't know what the hell he's doing, because we've beaten his ass every time. A defense lawyer is allowed to defend guilty people. And in this case, Naruto doesn't even know he was defending a guilty person until it was too late. There is no punishment for that. If there is a punishment for that, they all deserve to burn in hell. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Of course, my lord. Danny, Mr. Naruto. Now, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. What are we cross-examining? She told the truth, didn't she? So... Oh, okay, it's all to get this guy to move, isn't it? It's the real truth. So we're trying to get this guy to do something. Oh, go back. Hold it! And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Miss Lestrade? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats. Yes, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. Why are they talking? And he's sweating. I assume there's some, like, secret agent stuff going on here. And he slipped up, and now we're in this situation. Which is why, he's not, being very cooperative. One other thing. What was really inconsistent about all this was there were items... Car going by. There were items where she was hidden in the omnibus, but after everything happened, there was nothing thereafter. That was to show that there's no way she could be down there, but I guess she was down there with the items? I don't understand. I don't understand how that happened. Unless, of course, the guy replaced the items that night. Or something like that. Because they shouldn't have had them doctor that part, but they did. Now in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGilded was the sole passenger, did you not? False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me I had to say. But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGild and the victim acquaintances? I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot. What were they talking about? Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying. Perhaps business dealings of some kind? Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe, and then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was booming loud and all. And I believe you let out an involuntary scream. Yeah, that's what gave me away. Hold it! Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor. Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps? I don't know, but McGill had picked it up pretty smartish. And then he sat the cove with the knife in his belly up on the seat. What did he say to you at that time? He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared the way he was looking at me, I thought. If I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me a load of questions. Like what my name was and where I lived and that. He asked me about being a diver too. But after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed. Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise. Hold it! There were 2 gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. That's right. They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGill had got him out of sight. Out of sight? Where? Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the 2 coves from the roof ran off to fetch the slopes. If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident. So that left McGilded, the driver, and you still at the scene. Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside. The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe. A fellow who went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves. He was cold. And what did McGilded and the driver say to each other? I don't know what happened and stuff like that, mainly. Hold it! That pawn shop obviously being Windy Banks on Baker Street? Just a moment, Consul. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony in the trial as well? Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind when he was in the stand. Indeed, Lord Von Zeeks. McGildy took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up all careful-like before handing it over. When I saw him do it, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it, has gotta be worth a few bob. Yes, Gina was sure the disc must be worth more than Mr. Windybank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery. The driver looked pretty happy when McGill had flashed some brass in his face. He went running off at a lick. Then the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the Jag's cabin. Hold it! Threatened you? How exactly? Told me I'd only be able to escape if I did exactly what he said. Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago. Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said. Which was... He told me I'd have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it. The ticket? Well, I never. Said that if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me from before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in log, to stop it being forfeited. He left me with some brass to pay for it. But really, why on earth would Mr. McGilded have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police, it makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. But the McGill had the driver deposit Windy Banks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important, that he needed to hide at all costs. Anyway, after that he let me go, so I legged it before the coppers showed up. Now what do we do? Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that. Guinea's where we put our faith in you, Uno. Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial's over. But not murder. So I need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible. It's time to really go for it. Press her on every statement. I suppose I should. Oh, and another thing. What's that? Take a look at those two. Isn't it strange that they've been whispering to each other the entire time? Yes, that is strange. It looks like they're having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Problem. Now, what can we bring up that'll get these guys to react? We are now going to scum save. Because scumming is what I do. Alright. You think Muck is my favorite Pokemon with this? Oh crap, go back. Get through it. We're gonna go ahead and hit history and go up and see what was orange. What was orange? History? Alright, something very important you need to hide at all costs. The ticket. Oh, that's us pressing. Worth a few bob. Oh, that's as far as it goes? Alright. Alright, let's present the disc here, or the ticket? Let's present the ticket. Because there's blood on it. Objection! Not the thing to do! There's clearly something odd about that last statement made by the witness. There's clearly something odd here indeed, your behavior, Consul. Oh, please, don't mind me. That would be significantly easier if you would lower your hand. I wonder... I won't lower my hand until I prove my client's innocence, as long as it's quite quick. Alright, so that was the wrong thing to do. What about the disc itself? Objection. Not the disc either. I should actually look at the thing here. So this is the green text here. What the hell? There's the green text. You thought maybe there's nothing to... Yeah, there's nothing to hit there. Yeah, let's go here. Objection. No? I'm about to fail this. Boy, you're bad at this. Okay, oh dear. Try the 10 again? Objection. Alright, we're now going to load, because I blew all of that. Woo! God, what is it? Okay, Yeah, okay, let's just try for talking to those guys. Let's do it. Can I pursue them? Excuse me. Is there something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon? Oh yeah, so just go after them. Alright. Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Whoa! Blimey, you're trying to give me a heart attack! You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about? Discussion? With this fella? Or the other one, Sunshine? You think I've got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this? And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating.
Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
It would appear on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc, however, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGildy took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life. Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way. Although I don't understand why as yet. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGildy's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited. I didn't know what I should have done with the ticket. I mean, the cove died right after its trial. I knew that. So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own. Well, why not, eh? They were gonna be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have a go at them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
Miss Lestrade, it would appear Mr. McGildy was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
Eh? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He was probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime.
My lord. Okay, who's this? My lord, the evidence for your lordship request has been located and is ready for the courtroom's inspection, sir. It's been half an hour, okay. Huh. Woo-woo. All right. Doom. Here we go.
The mysterious little box, deposited by Mr. McGildy 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece of this far-reaching puzzle.
Are we about to hit a doobie? Yeah, we are! I handled it like, this is the end. This is it right here. To be continued. You're lying to me. Part 4. Have we ever gone beyond Part 4?
A box? There's something in the box, probably.
So this is the article in question, is it? A small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGildy 2 months ago.
And on the night of Mr. Windybank's murder. The only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick! Break open and see what's inside.
Okay, it's a music player. With the disc on it. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems.
Wow, although in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box here houses a miniature music box movement.
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord.
So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGildy's disc, deposited at Mr. Windybank's at much the same time.
Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not Mr. McGildy's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGildy?
Hand up. I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on this disc, my lord.
Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Wait, my lord!
Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The music box and the disc are, well, they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music.
Objection!
This test may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Well, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understand what's happening. To understanding what happened. Prosecution has no objection. But no! That piece of evidence is police property now, you can't! Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Ah! About to lose my job!
No further delays, please. Play the disc.
Yeah, what is on this disc? Is that the correct side? Yeah, it's gotta be, okay. Morse code! Morse code! Data data. And you know who can identify that? 2 people in the courtroom. Longs and shorts. It's freaking Morse code.
What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music.
No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in a regular sequence.
Mr. Graydon?
This really is priceless. Dancing! After all that, the music box is broken. That's not the problem. Broken? It can't be, can it? No, that's the joke. That's the play. Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. If the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. Oh, wow, okay. Snagglepuss sounds a lot like my Edgeworth voice, actually, now I think about it.
Well, with much regret, I fear the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues.
Is the juror gonna interrupt? Are they? Because they should. They know. She knows damn well this is Morse code.
Are you ready to move on, counsel?
Come on. Yes, alright. It does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? It could be a clue. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord.
Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, counsel, mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever.
It does sound strange, I agree. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Oh? Dots and dashes. Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? It's the defense belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. That got him. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like her, you wanna know?
Objection!
She's gotta know Morse code, by the way. The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly.
Heavens and Megatron. I think if I get deeper in it, it's not Edgeworth. Heavens and Megatroid. Snagglepuss. Snagglepuss. Was it exit stage left is what you said? Exit stage left. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness. They've got me. I don't know what that answer is yet. Well, no. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? Clearly. The way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. Okay. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Wow, you know, I learned Morse code in elementary school, by the way. I like that that's a thing I learned and it's irrelevant right now. 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots is SOS. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Something just struck me, Luna. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes. Yeah, a certain lady's been doing it a lot. Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Yeah, the game's been drilling into us the sound we've been hearing earlier. I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not, in fact, music at all, then what the devil is it, Counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the evidence we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend present proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation. Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together, with dashes. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds of this music disc is... crap, I can't do that. Okay. Okay, what can I do that has to do with Morse code? Oh, right here! Right here! Government secrets being leaked up 4 inches. There! Take that! Today's paper, Counsel. The headline is Pawnbroker Perishes in Pick-Pass Plunder. Hardly supportive of your case. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down. Ministry mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter, being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams? Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Stop. Oh, me, sir? Whatever's the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government and communications and newspaper reports. Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? She's not been paying attention, apparently. She's not matching the sound at all, by the way. You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting the music box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code? Grayson's like, fire! Order! Order! Please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, Council, deserving of capital punishment. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason and what is capital punishment? Oh, it's fun. The sorts of words I'd have expect you to know. Our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago. That was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. But in the end, Mr. McGill had perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while this pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies. In response to the accusations brought by the defense. By the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of pawnbroker Mr. Windybank. That being a most flagitious, that being a most flagitious offence for which the law of this land sanctions a capital crime. The heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may... Ah! Who now? What? You gotta let us have a rabbit and parking, Governor. We got things to say. What? Okay, what the balls? Most unexpected. Let's save. Those two? Oh, that's because they don't want to be found for high treason. That's why they're there. Yeah, I think I'd jump up too. High treason? Oh, balls, bro. I don't want to go down for that, bro. Alright, that's it. I had fun. I realize now that the chair is not squeaky, I can be a little more animated. I was being held back by the squeaky chair. Freaking A, Jinx is gonna give it to me for that. Alright, so that's it for now. I have fun. Hope you have fun watching. That's what's up, Bassett. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.